HYB going to the military to meet Taehyung. This is not ordinary gossip. This could be a big sign for BTS's future. Lately, social media has been rocked by news that could be said to be quite surprising. Rumors are circulating that HYB is planning a direct visit to the military camp where Kim Taehyung, or what we know as BTS's V, is undergoing his mandatory military service. Not just an ordinary visit, but it is said that there is something important that they want to talk about. And from here, a big question arises that makes everyone curious. What secret mission is HYB preparing? When we talk about HYB and BTS, of course it cannot be separated from the long-term strategy and long-term plans that are always mature. BTS is not just an idol group, but a big asset. You could even say it is the main foundation for HYB's existence in the global entertainment industry. So if there is a step, no matter how small, from HYB that involves one of the members, especially Taehyung, it is definitely not without purpose. Taehyung himself is currently serving his military service in an elite unit with a fairly prominent position. Many call him a special team commander. But suddenly, a rumor emerged. HYB's central management will visit the military camp where Taehyung is stationed. Is this a form of respect? Is there a special project involving Taehyung, even while he is still serving? From a theoretical perspective, this kind of visit is very rare, especially by a big agency like HYB. Usually, entertainment companies will keep their distance while their artists are serving in the military. But if HYB goes to the military, it could indicate that there is a long-term plan that requires direct discussion with Taehyung, perhaps related to a global project that cannot be postponed, or major preparations ahead of his discharge. Some theories suggest that HYB is preparing some kind of documentary or major visual project that will be released before or after all BTS members have completed their military service. And Taehyung's position as one of BTS's most iconic faces certainly makes it crucial for him to be involved from the start. It could be that this visit is related to artistic decision-making, or even to record something limited from the military side, which will later become part of BTS's official narrative in the comeback from military service phase. Another theory that is no less exciting is the possibility of Taehyung's solo project being prepared. As we know, before his military service, Taehyung had released the solo album Layover, which was very successful internationally. HYB could be preparing Layover, reimagined, or even something bigger. And to maintain the momentum and continuity of the concept, they want to discuss it directly with Taehyung before further steps are taken. This could involve choosing a concept, producing a music video, or planning a global tour that has been prepared for post-military service. However, there is also a third possibility that is more sensitive. Some fans speculate that this visit is related to HYB's big plan to reunite all BTS members in a global project as a symbol of BTS's revival after their military hiatus. And for that, communication must start as early as possible, even from within the military camp. From a psychological and artist management perspective, HYB may also be showing its full support for Taehyung. Amidst the heavy pressure and responsibility as an active soldier and public figure, HYB may want to show that they are still present and support the mental well-being of their artists. This is a new form of artist management that is more humane and strategic, something that can also improve the company's image globally. However, we also cannot close our eyes to the possibility that this rumor could be played to revive public attention towards Taehyung, who, as we know, remains a media magnet even when he is not active in the entertainment world. This could be part of HYB's communication strategy to keep Taehyung's existence high in the public's mind ahead of BTS's next big project. And of course, the most interesting theory is HYB preparing Taehyung for a top-secret international collaboration project? We know that HYB has established relationships with many global artists and international companies. If there is an offer of exclusive cooperation, for example with a Hollywood production house or a cross-country music project, then of course HYB must talk directly to the main artist. And since Taehyung is in the military, the only way is to visit him in person. This may not just be about BTS or solo projects, but it could be about Taehyung's expansion as a global icon across industries, from fashion, music, film, to art. Of all the possibilities, one thing is clear: this rumor is no small matter. And if it is proven true that Hybe visited the military for Taehyung, it means that something very big is being prepared. As fans, of course, we hope that whatever their plan is, everything goes smoothly and does not add to the burden of Taehyung, who is currently serving his country. Interestingly, many international fans have started speculating about this secret project, some of whom even link it to BTS's 10th anniversary of their global debut, or even BTS's full comeback as a group in 2026. Whatever it is, Hybe's movements are always interesting to watch, and Taehyung's involvement in it indicates that he remains a key element in BTS's journey forward. So, is Hybe really planning something big for BTS's V? Or is this just an internal maneuver that happened to leak to the public? One thing is clear, we know. When Hybe makes a move, the K-pop world will also shake. And speaking of the world shaking, we can't turn a blind eye to the domino effect that might arise from Hybe's move. Remember, BTS is not just a K-pop group, they are South Korea's representation in the eyes of the world, diplomatically, culturally, and even economically. So when Hybe takes a slightly out-of-the-ordinary step, like meeting a member who is serving in the military, it could be a strong signal that big changes are in the making. Not just for BTS, but for the entire future direction of the Korean entertainment industry. Now, at this point, an interesting question arises. Why Taehyung? Why not another member who is also serving in the military? If we step back a little and trace the small patterns that often go unnoticed, Taehyung does have a unique role within BTS. He is the main visual, has a very strong artistic character, and is always the center of attention in many of BTS's important moments. Even when the solo project Layover was released, his style, sound, and visuals really gave a different feel compared to the other members' solo projects. This indicates that Hybe may see Taehyung's potential not just as an idol, but as a cultural icon, someone who can be a bridge between Korean art and global market tastes. It could be that this secret mission carried by Hybe is the beginning of a new brand launch or a cross-industry artistic initiative that will make Taehyung its main face. For example, a collaboration with a luxury fashion brand, a global independent film, or even a world-scale charity project that uses Taehyung's influence as a peaceful and inspiring figure. And for this to be realized, communication must be done directly, regardless of Taehyung's status as an active soldier. In terms of communication psychology, this kind of initiative also shows how Hybe holds the principle of artists as partners, not just commercial assets. They come to Taehyung's place, bring plans, and discuss the future together. This is a form of modern management that is full of empathy, and further shows that Taehyung is not just a Hybe artist, but a strategic partner. And to be honest, if indeed the big project is prepared for BTS's future, then Taehyung is one of the vital components in making it happen. Whether in the form of a BTS history documentary, a musical film, a global reunion concert, or even a major rebranding of BTS in the post-military era, all of these possibilities are open. One thing that is also important to note, the rumor about this visit emerged close to Hybe's increased activity in securing copyrights, archiving old content, and restructuring sublabels. Is this part of a grand plan to welcome a new era? It could be, yes, because when big companies start tidying up their kitchens, it's usually a sign that they are preparing to launch something bigger than before. We can imagine it like this. When BTS makes a full comeback later, the world will no longer welcome them as a boy group from Korea, but as world icons who have just returned from a national break. And to create maximum emotional and global impact, each member must be placed in the most strategic position. And maybe, Taehyung will be the opening face of that narrative. All possibilities are open, and it all starts with one small but meaningful step, Hybe's visit to the military. On the surface it may seem simple, but in a world run by strategy, symbols, and influence like the Korean entertainment industry, this visit could be the beginning of a new chapter. As fans, we can only guess, but one thing is for sure, whatever Hybe is planning, if Taehyung is at the center of it, it's going to be something extraordinary.